And last but not least, Turbo. You were delighted to hear that Fatal Frame 2 is getting yet another remake. Its second
Okay.
remake.
This is why
Everybody,
Kev
you know
had me
how
on
handed
board.
over to Nintendo for Mario Galaxy? Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, otherwise known as Project Zero 2. It's all yours, John. Go for it.
Yeah. So I only just realized. Obviously, Kev just talked about the Dragon Quest one. Dragon Quest 7, obviously, that was a game that has been remade twice now. And this is the second game in this presentation that is also a game that has been remade twice now. So, and now here's for those of you who know, I'm a big fan of the obviously known as Project Zero series here in the UK and whatnot in the European continent because it connects more closer to the Japanese original title, simply known as Zero. Um, Now, this is an interesting thing because in the UK presentation of the Direct, they left it as Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. And so I'm going to assume that this is going to be going forward that the publisher, well, Nintendo has the publishing rights to the series and whatnot. So they have now gone out of their way going, okay, let's just make it universal with the Western audience. Is like, let's just call the whole series Fatal Frame to save on confusion. So to do that, let's reintroduce the series with a remake of the second game again.
Because because
Because
it came out first. The first remake was for the Wii, wasn't it?
yes, which I've played, and it is archived on the Last Minute Continue website and the Last Minute Continue YouTube channel, where that version, the Wii version, was only released in Japan and Europe. That was it. US never got it. Same as when the US didn't get a physical copy of Made in the Blackwater for the Wii U back in the day. So this being remade again, I can understand where Nintendo is coming from of wanting to reintroduce the series again, but why in the hell are you remaking the second game when the first game has never had a single remake? Heck, even the third game has never had a remake. Why couldn't you just remake the whole trilogy? Why are you leaving the other two in purgatory hell? But the reason, obviously, the clear reason is that the publishing rights for both of those games are split between two separate publishing houses. The first game was under a now well defunct publishing line known as Wanadu. I know it's obviously in relation to Ava. I know totally it's stupid, but they're completely shut down. I believe they've completely shut their doors like years ago. So the publishing rights for the first game is completely out of the water, and nobody knows what to do that with that. And then the third game was published by in Europe anyway, was published by Take-Two Interactive. So obviously it's under the Rockstar
just generally
banner.
boo.
Yeah. So yeah, this series is obviously those series are terrible kind of like positions and whatnot. The second game, however, I believe, with the original release, it was done by Tecmo themselves, which is the team. Like I believe it was a team within Tecmo that developed it. So with the second game, they had confidence to produce it or like publish it themselves under their name. So Tecmo had the rights for that. When Nintendo bought the rights for the Fatal Frame line to have it exclusive on the Nintendo platforms from the fourth one on, which was Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, that was on the original Wii. They just kept it there, well, not until they remade it and then made it multi-platform or whatever with new deals and stuff like that. Now it's just a case of like, Fatal Frame 2, apparently a lot of people like Fatal Frame 2 a lot. I've seen a lot of kind of like people's opinions on the series and whatnot, and a lot of people love the second game. Me, on the other hand, I don't like the second game.
What was the one? What was the one that really got you angry?
Made in the Black Water.
Made in the Black Water was the one that really
because it completely screwed
It's
over.
one of the few times where I've actually been watching the video, because it's the Luna one we haven't got out yet, I think. But it's one of the few times when I've been editing those videos and I've just been like wincing through. I'm like the US Office memes, like.
You're grimacing. Yes.
It's one of the angriest I've ever seen Turbo get is that game.
Just to pull the veil a little bit, I do play up a little bit on it. Okay, so it's not like I'm legitimately that pissed,
still
but
very angry.
But I was still angry. Yes. But not.
That's my problem, Cap.
But
I'm always angry.
The overall reaction I was having. The overall reaction I was having in that series for Made in the Black Water during that one bit.
I mean, it is a complete betrayal of everything that they've done with the character.
And I just handed up to the nth degree of my genuine kind of like disappointment in it, because again that was utilizing the original protagonist in the original game and completely derailing their story, their character, with that entry, Made in the Blackwater, which was the 5th entry at the time, after all the stuff that was dealt with her in the 3rd game was brought, because it was led to interpretation or whatever, and of course the developers and the screenwriters wanted to go in a certain other direction that I could completely do not agree with. So, but of course, Fatal Frame 2 again, it is connected to that trilogy in some way. It has family ties to the original protagonist in the 1st game. And then onwards into the 3rd game and whatnot. So they all are connected. But I just cannot understand why Nintendo just can't buy or find the rights for the 1st game and remake the 1st game.
It's one of those times where it's just like, okay, we want to release, Fatal Frame, 2. Okay, doesn't it benefit you to have Fatal Frame 1 out? Doesn't it benefit you to reach out to that other studio and go, hey, let's make a deal where we work on these two together with like this? Okay, this is your game, so you get lead billing in terms of the studio, and when it comes to the other way round, we get the lead billing, and then you actually have, even though you've got this split licensing problem, that you can actually work together and make more money that way.
Well, the problem is that this series has the same problem as what Metroid has. So we're all going full circle with this here. Is that Fatal Frame as a franchise has not made that much money in the grand scheme of things. It is a very, 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 very niche horror series. It's not in the same caliber as a Resident Evil. It's not in the same caliber as a Dead Space or whatever. It's not in that same caliber because it's obviously a different gameplay mechanic.
Isn't part of that though due to the fact that it is all over the place?
Yeah, but the core concept is you're taking pictures of ghosts. That's the main concept. But many players are not happy with that concept.
I'm gonna
play it.
I'm gonna say, everybody, that if you go and do that, Fatal Frame Reframed as a trilogy grouping is right there for you.
True, yes. I mean, granted, that was the whole concept. That was the whole idea when it was branded as Fatal Frame in the US, because obviously it's a camera, you're taking pictures.
It makes sense.
Frames.
If you're going to go one or the other, it's
title, Fatal Frame. Brilliant. Let's make money.
Yeah. If you're going to go in one direction, it's one of those rare occasions where actually the other title works better.
Yes, true. I mean, granted, even though I've been a hardcore stickler and embracing the Project Zero name because it was more tied to the original title.
Yeah, it's got the history of that.
But from a marketing ploy, yes, Fatal
You
Frame
know
is a
exactly
better
what it
tie-in
is
thing.
from that, as opposed to
Yeah.
Project Zero, which is kind of generic sounding, if we're totally honest.
True, it is. But the thing is that I feel as though like you said, a trilogy remake, reframed, whatnot. I would have accepted that if that was the case with how we got Another Code Recollections a year or two ago, where they just remade the first two games and put them as a collection, as one kind of like two halves of a story in the same game, whatever. And that could have been the same case with Fatal Frame if they did the first and the second game. Even though what was it? The events of the second game. I think it takes place after the first, the events of the first game, or before. I can't remember. But yeah, you could have done the same thing as what you did with Another Code Recollections.
And it wasn't like with that. It wasn't like they didn't for that have to go and do a little bit of negotiating because of rights.
No, because it was owned by Nintendo anyway.
But there was still a little bit behind the scenes that they had to do.
Well, the only thing that they had to do was just try to get
everyone played nice.
Yeah.
Go play nice, make money, everybody.
Well, businessmen are ruthless. After all, Kev. They're
Ruthless.
they just don't start playing ruthless in
Will you?
in the
So
background
will you be playing?
begrudgingly? Yes.
Begrudgingly, yes.
Because I want to know how they remake this one. Because obviously the remake that they did for the Wii was based off of the engine in the fourth game for the Wii back in the day. So now that obviously things have changed. Obviously, this looks completely different to how that Wii version was done. So
I
they
hope we get the equivalent of a Resident Evil 4R.
Possibly.
I hope we get
I feel
the
as though that's what
jump of that. I hope.
I feel as though that's probably the reasoning why this is being remade again. Because they saw the success of Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 4 from Capcom. And they've obviously sold gangbusters and whatnot. And then the dev teams at Tecmo Koei just said, hey, we saw these guys doing this. Can we do this for our horror franchise?
Please?
Just like,
Could
please?
Is it possible we could?
Please, Uncle Nintendo, can we do this for your console?
My
Nintendo's
uncle,
"Aye, sure,
my
Daddy."
uncle from Nintendo, would you please? I know I don't want new games. I want you to help promote our game. Okay. No.
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 Have you tried photographing your uncle from Nintendo with the camera obscura? Terrifying things may occur.
Indeed.